Today we're going to talk about how to get started with our clay. First of all, the materials that you're going to need are going to be on a tray or in a bin. You might also have a water cup with a sponge that's slightly damp or maybe some slip. To get yourself started, you're just going to need a clay mat in front of you on the table, and then I will pass out clay. We're also going to talk today about what to do and not to do. First to do is keeping your clay wet while you are building. However, what you do not want to do is have so much water on the clay that it becomes slick and muddy and starts sticking to your hands. Here, I've got my clay out, and I notice that as I start working with the clay, it starts getting a little bit dry and maybe it starts to crumble a little bit, so I just added a little bit of water to my hands. As you're working, the clay is going to dry out a bit, but you need to be careful about how much water you add so that your hands don't become muddy or start feeling slippery. Our next what to do is to make anything with clay hollow. You cannot just have a big piece of solid clay. Let's take a look at an example. Here's how you would make it hollow. Even if you want to make your sculpture round like a ball shape, you're going to stick your thumb inside and kind of pinch it so that the walls of the clay are not too thick, kind of like forming a pinch pot. Then you can kind of fold it over on itself, and you're going to need to poke a hole so that there is no air trapped inside. On this one, I just used my thumb and kind of built around my thumb as I was holding it, but you can see that it's hollow inside. This is an example of one that I did not hollow out, and you can see that it actually cracked and broke. I was able to glue it back together, but there are no guarantees if yours breaks that I'll be able to fix yours, so you need to make it hollow. You will need to finish your art project in one class period. But don't worry, we're going to do lots of planning and practicing before you start your masterpiece. You'll have a couple classes to work with the clay, but we can't keep your clay wet from 1 week to the next. Lastly, let's talk about cleanup. When it's time to clean up the clay, you're going to roll any excess clay into a ball at your table. Stack your clay mats, close up any containers like slip, make sure all of your tools and mats are in the middle of the table, and put everything on the tray.